Hey, good evening. How's everybody doing? Tonight we are recapping week one of the Diddy trial. My name is Channing. I am a journalist. I normally go live on here in the morning starting around 9 a.m. talking about the big news stories of the day. But I promised a lot of my viewers that I would recap week one of the Diddy trial because if you have been following along with me for a while, you know I have been breaking this down for everybody every single day. And today, of course, we wrapped up a lot of the testimony from Cassie. We heard from Don Richard on the witness stand. And I have been following along with this trial along with everybody else. So if you're interested in learning more about what all happened, especially what we actually heard on the witness stand, because for whatever reason, a lot of people are getting this stuff wrong, go ahead and tap in for me right now. So like I mentioned, we're going to be recapping everything that happened in week one of this Diddy trial, all the things that we heard from Cassie on the witness stand, from this male escort on the witness stand, and from a few other witnesses on the witness stand as well. Because a lot went down in this Diddy trial, and we learned a lot as well. Like, there were a few celebrity names that were actually dropped over the last couple of days that I think surprised people. Like, we finally learned why Michael B. Jordan was actually mentioned in all of the pre-trial stuff. We finally learned a lot more about why Nicki Minaj was brought up, different artists, things like that. So yeah, we got to talk about all of these things. So if you're not familiar at all with the whole Diddy case, so P. Diddy is actually being charged with three different things. He's being charged with racketeering, conspiracy, trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Now, these all carry their own separate sentences and potential jail time and fines. So again, these are all three completely separate charges. And now this trial is just in week one, and this trial is going to last probably about 8 weeks or so. This is a federal case. That's also why you're not seeing any cameras in the courtroom or anything like that. A lot of people have been asking why there's no footage. You're not seeing any cameras, and you're not even seeing any photos or anything like that from the actual trial. It's because federal case, thing like that. Thanks for the gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, please keep tapping your screen for me. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's why you're not seeing any cameras in a courtroom, and that's also why you're only getting those kind of janky looking sketches and everything like that from the courtroom. It's because of that. Obviously, yeah, no cameras in the courtroom. So then, in addition to that, a lot of people have been asking this one too about Diddy's family members being there and present, because yeah, his whole family has been there almost this entire week. His mom has been there, just about all of his kids. His daughters were kind of back and forth. His daughters were there most of the week, but they did leave for about a day or so. They had to go to prom. But they have been there through most of this testimony. And when I say most of it, I mean all of these sexual assault allegations, through all of these allegations talking about their dad doing a lot of really bad stuff to a lot of different people. And they were sitting there for a lot of it. One thing that they did actually leave the courtroom though for was from the testimony from the male escort. They were taken out, or they just actually just left the courtroom for that actual portion. But other than that, they've been in there pretty much this whole entire time. So yeah, like I mentioned, this has been a lot. It's a lot to dig into. If you have questions about things, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. Or if you feel a certain type of way, or if you've heard something about this case, let me know what you've heard, because there are a lot of rumors going around that I'm also really interested in too. So let me know what your thoughts are already. So I mentioned this one though, to start things off, that there are no cameras in the courtroom. And I know, like I said, people have a lot of questions about this one, and this is because of the nature of this case. It's a federal court case, and by and large, federal cases do not allow cameras in the courtroom. This is a pretty standard thing. It's more common for them not to allow cameras in the courtroom. It's usually an exception to the rule that they actually allow them in there. That's why you're getting all the courtroom sketches and everything like that too. That's also why, instead of you having just, your traditional kind of reporting from in the courtroom, you're getting more of the live tweeting and the court transcripts and people like me doing kind of synopses and recaps of what happened in court after everything took place. Which, by the way, court has already adjourned for today, for this week, everything like that. Jennifer, thanks for the follow, friend. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you're looking for a recap, I actually have a whole playlist of some of the most shocking moments, things that were said on the witness stand, available right there on my profile, if you were trying to look at for anything like that. So yeah, that's just kind of the way these proceedings are done. And again, this is going to be a really lengthy trial. This is only week one. This is expected to last about 8 weeks, just because of the nature of this case and all of the evidence that the prosecution plans on presenting. Because essentially they're trying to get him on racketeering charges more so than anything else, more than the transportation and the prostitution charges, all that kind of stuff. They're trying to get him on these racketeering charges. That's what the majority of the indictment is even over and involving, is all that kind of stuff. Cassie is the star witness because she's the person who can kind of tie all of the things together, but she is by no means the person that is going to necessarily take him down per se, if that's the thing. And also, don't be surprised if this man ends up getting off, because I will say this, I've seen a lot of cases and I've covered a lot of cases like this as a journalist. His defense has done a pretty good job so far. Their opening statements were really good. Their cross-examination of Cassie was really good. So good that they already have a lot of people on social media already saying that she's not even a victim. I don't know if anybody else has seen this side of social media, but a lot of people are already talking about they don't believe that she's any type of victim, that Diddy had the kind of control over her that she claims that he had. And maybe it's just me, but I think she is a victim. So let me know what you think. I actually kind of have a poll going there at the top. If you want to just kind of vote on that real quick, you can let me know what you think. And yeah, like if you think Diddy is guilty, or if you think that maybe she wasn't a victim after all. Like I mentioned, a lot of people online, especially a lot of women, are saying that they don't think that Cassie was necessarily a victim, that she really just kind of chose to stay, that she made decisions. And she admitted several things on the stand. A lot of the things that she said, she was often a participant, not necessarily a willing participant, but she admitted to often calling these male escorts herself and often asking for certain sexual things to be done to her. Now, she did definitely say that Diddy was the one who pressured her into doing these things, and he was the one that enjoyed all of these different things, but she was the one who ultimately asked for them. On the first day of the actual trial, there was a male escort who testified, and his name is Daniel Phillip. And he mentioned several times that Cassie was the one who called him, that Cassie was the one who asked him to, do different things to her. It wasn't Diddy that did all of these things. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like I said, a lot of people are talking online and saying that they don't necessarily think that she is the victim that she portrayed herself to be originally, especially after all of this. So I don't know. Same drama when he was dating J-Lo. Oh, I forgot about that. I had forgotten about the J-Lo drama. That is true. So I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what she has to say. I know like J-Lo has been very, very silent since all of this has come out. I mean, obviously like anybody would be silent, but I don't know. I'd be interested to see what she has to say. Oh, thank you for the rose, friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for all of the likes. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just wonder what she has to say. I'm very interested in like what some of his exes even have to say. So he also had one of his baby mamas has been there in the courtroom with him as well. And I mentioned like all of his kids have been there. So they're definitely showing that whole family support kind of thing, rallying behind him throughout this whole week. And I mentioned like this whole week, they were talking some really wild kind of allegations. I did a video kind of recapping some of like the more shocking moments where Cassie was talking about, just the amount of abuse that she allegedly suffered at the hands of Diddy, and just the amount of the frequency of the freak offs that he subjected her to, the just how physically violent he allegedly was with her, all of these different things. And she's saying that not only to his face, but to his family's face. And those are some heavy allegations to throw at somebody just in front of their family too. Like that's a lot. That's definitely a lot. So I would be interested to hear what even his exes have to say, what his family has to say, those kinds of things. Now, again, like Cassie wasn't the only one though that testified this week. Of course, like she was the person that was on the witness stand the longest. She was up there for 3 days or so. But on the first day was the first witness, this male escort, Daniel Phillip. And I mentioned him just a while ago. He's a person who once said that Diddy and Cassie called him several different times to perform different sexual acts with them and to perform in these freak offs with them, and said that Diddy paid him for these different activities throughout the years, and kind of set up a timeline of events. He also claimed, though, that he saw Diddy be physically violent with Cassie on a few different occasions. And then he also went into pretty graphic detail in regards to some of the things that he was asked to do. And yeah, it was a lot. Like a lot of the things, like I said, like they get into really graphic detail. And some of these things, like there's no way in the world that I don't think I could ever get up on a witness stand and admit to or say in front of just everybody. And I just could not do it. Like, no judgment to anybody involved, but I just could not. I don't think I could physically say those words. I just really couldn't. But then other things too, because like I mentioned, in addition to Cassie, so today, at the very end of today, Dawn Richard also testified. She was a member of two of Diddy's different bands through like that whole making the band thing. She only answered a couple of questions. A few of the questions and really the questions she really answered were in regards to times that she saw Diddy be physically abusive to Cassie. She talked about one time where she said they were recording a song at his house, and she said that he got mad at her about food and he tried to hit her with a frying pan over the head, and she dropped to the ground into like the fetal position. And instead of hitting her with the pan, he started kicking her in the head and in the stomach. She said she was scared, she didn't know what to do, and she said that wasn't the only time she saw something like that happen, that she saw him do something like that another time as well. But they had wrapped up for the day, so she didn't really answer a ton of questions, but those were one of the big things that she really said in her testimony for today. Now, like I mentioned though, so today they're really wrapped up. Like again, Cassie was cross-examined today by Diddy's attorneys. Her time on the witness stand is done. They also talked to Dawn Richard, and they talked to an expert for the prosecution. And that was pretty much it. We should know who will be on the witness stand for next week by Sunday evening. They usually put out those court documents by Sunday evening. So we'll know a little bit more about what's to come for next week. Like I said, on Sunday evening. Oh, thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you for all the gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, do me a favor. Please keep tapping your screen. Gina, good evening, friend. How's it going? B. Burgess, thank you for sharing the live. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Gina, for sharing the live. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, for if you're just joining, we are talking a little bit about the recap, or just recapping the first week of P. Diddy's trial and all the chaos and all the drama that has kind of gone into that. Of course, there have been a lot of talks about like some of the potential names that would be dropped and some of the celebrity names that would be mentioned. One of the big ones though, and like a lot of people had questions about this one, was Michael B. Jordan. So Michael B. Jordan's name was mentioned during jury selection. And the attorneys asked potential jurors if they knew who Michael B. Jordan was, who Michael Myers was, and a few other celebrities as well. Well, yesterday we finally found out why they were asking specifically about Michael B. Jordan. And it was because there was a period in time when apparently Diddy thought that Cassie was having some type of relationship with Michael B. Jordan. And apparently she was having some type of flirtatious relationship with him. Apparently they had spent like New Year's Eve together and were having some type of flirtation going back and forth. Nothing real serious according to Cassie, but it was enough to where Diddy allegedly called Michael B. Jordan up and said enough for the actor to call up Cassie and ask her to handle whatever it was that Diddy was throwing at him. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. But that's really only been the big celebrity name that's been thrown out there. Today, they did ask the defense asked Cassie about some artists that she worked with through Diddy, some artists that he essentially like introduced her to. Some names like Nicki Minaj. I'm trying to remember who else was brought up in that one. But it was essentially just drawing the correlation and saying that Diddy was the one who put her in front of these artists, and that without him, she wouldn't have had this career. That was pretty much it though. They weren't trying to say that these people knew about the relationship or knew about, any of the abuse or anything like that was going on. So anybody who was saying anything otherwise, that is not true. There have been really no other celebrity names dropped or anything like that at all, which has been kind of wild to me. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comments, because I want to know what you guys think about this case so far, or if you know anything yet. Oh, thank you for sharing the live. Oh man. Oh yeah, this trial is absolutely crazy. Did he make music for J-Lo? Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he made a lot of good music for J-Lo for sure. He really did. I forgot about that. Oh, thank you for all the likes, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, some of the, I think, most surprising things that really people are talking a lot about in this trial are just a lot, I think, of Cassie's testimony, and especially how much, how much that she really played a part in these freak offs. And she's been very transparent on the witness stand, which is something I think has been very surprising too. She talked a lot about her drug usage and just what she had to do with, from what she said, to cope. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for joining the club. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She said she had to use a lot of like opiates in order to cope. She was taking Valium. She was taking all of these different pills constantly. And she also talked a lot about like the duration and the frequency of these freak offs, talking about that the longest one lasted 4 days, but the frequency of them was usually between, 36 and 48 hours on average, and that they were happening several times a week. And so she was just in a constant rotation of performing at these freak offs and then getting IVs and taking vitamins and just trying to recover in order to perform once again. And it's just kind of a wild back and forth. Oh, thanks for the roses. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks so much. So yeah, it's kind of a wild ride. She also talked about a time that was really sad when she talked about more afterwards, after she had gotten married and had kids and everything like that, and where she really considered just ending her life. And that's what kind of led to the whole, really her whole lawsuit. She ended up going to trauma therapy and writing things down and everything like that, and ended up writing down so much that it turned into a book that she wanted Diddy to see and that she wanted to sell to him for $30 million. And he settled with her 24 hours later for $20 million. Maritza, thanks for the heart, friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Hey, Maritza. Gina, let's see. I think Diddy would have been the same way regardless if he were a known artist or not. You know what? I think so too. I don't disagree with that, like, at all. I saw the documentary that they did on him. I think it was on Max. And just kind of talking about who he was, like, even before he was, like, really famous and big and all that kind of thing. I think you're right about that. I think some people are just predators. You know, some people are just like that. And I think money made it easier for him to be that way, but I don't think it necessarily turned him into the monster that he became, or by any means. But I will say this. So today, again, the defense. So Diddy's attorneys got the chance once again today to really cross-examine Cassie. And a lot of the information that came out today did not look good, especially some of the additional questions and some of the ending questions that they had for Cassie today. So they asked a lot about settlements that she got, particularly a $10 million hotel settlement that she got from Intercontinental, which is really interesting. It was like one of the last questions of the day, but apparently she got a $10 million settlement recently from Intercontinental. And that's the question that the defense ended on today in regards to her questioning. And they were really trying to pin it and make it seem like, you know, she's just kind of out for revenge. They talked a lot about infidelity once again, and talked about Diddy's relationship with Kim Porter and how she felt when she would see images of Diddy with other women, and why she would go out and date other men. And they had a lot of receipts for messages of her being jealous. And they even had a recorded conversation or a voicemail of hers threatening Diddy and saying all of these things that she was going to do to him in response to him cheating. So yeah, like the defense is doing a really good job. I mean, obviously, Diddy has some great attorneys, so you knew they were going to have some stuff that would stick, or at the very least make people kind of question things, you know? And so yeah, today was one of those days where I think definitely people who were already kind of on the fence, especially jurors, might lean a little bit more against Cassie, I think. Let's see what you guys are saying, though. Let's see. Hugh Hefner didn't have a problem with all his, like, bad about... Oh, no, I've heard a lot of bad about Hugh. A lot bad about Hugh. Especially recently. All those girls have stuff to say about him. Every single one of those girls, I feel like all of them have written books and said all kinds of stuff about him, for sure. Like, absolutely. Like, all of them, I feel like, have said terrible, terrible things. Uh-oh, I think, let's see. I'm trying to see. Uh-oh, it looks like they're filtering my comments again. Uh-oh. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Have you seen anything? I know there's a lot of like rumors and everything going around about the trial too. I saw a video today with somebody posting, and they were talking about all of the different celebrities that had been named in the trial. I was like, that's not true. That's not true at all. Somebody was talking about, oh, Ellen has been named, and I was like, no, she hasn't. I was like, what are you reading? What are you talking about? That's not true at all. Oh, look at the sticker. Congrats, Maritza. I hope you can see this. This is super cute. So yeah, like I mentioned, this one is just getting underway. Oh, thank you for joining, for the heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for the roses. Thank you. So like I mentioned, this trial is going to last a while. And the interesting thing with this one, and kind of the difficult thing even in tracking this one, is just the fact that, you know, there are no cameras in the courtroom. There are no, and when there are no cameras in the courtroom, that also typically means that there are no recording devices in the courtroom. You can have a, obviously like pen and paper and everything like that. Nowadays, it means that you can have like your phone with you, but you can't do typically anything else. So people are able to like kind of tweet out things very quickly and things of that nature. So if you're looking for people to follow, Inner City Press on X is doing a phenomenal job of, they're actually like a local, very small journalism and like small paper and news outlet that has been doing a great job of live tweeting throughout the whole thing. They're really, really good and easy to follow. There are a few TikTokers that have been really good and that are actually there and inside the courtroom. They actually wait in the pool to try and get in every single day. They're really good to follow too. But so yeah, it's just been really, really difficult. And there are a few, obviously like all the major news outlets are also covering it too with like their live updates. But it's just, again, it's kind of hard to follow because you can't really get any information from inside the courtroom as it's happening. So it's kind of difficult in that. But it is what it is, I guess. So like I mentioned though, this one is just getting underway. This was just week 1. It's supposed to go on for about another 7 weeks. This one is supposed to last 8 weeks. And again, I think it's just because the nature of the trial. Again, this is a federal case and he is up for some really serious charges. And I like to remind people he's actually not up for any charge that's really related to sexual assault or like rape or even assault, battery, or anything like that. That's not any of the charges that he's actually facing at all. Not even a little bit. So like all of his charges are really much, much bigger. Like, you know, we're talking about racketeering, and that's a huge one. And that's one of those where they can take all of his businesses and his assets and things of that nature. And that's the one that they're really trying to make stick. That's the one that most of his indictment is dedicated to. It's the majority of it. And that's the one that I think that they're really going to try and get him on. And that one, they haven't even really started trying to prove their case yet. Oh, thanks so much, Brian. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the cowboy hat. I love that one. Thank you. I am interested to see, though, who else is coming, like, for witnesses. I am very interested to see who they have for that and the kind of evidence they present for that. They've been very closed in regards to like the kind of evidence that they present, which is typical, especially for federal cases and especially for federal like white collar crime cases, like anything involving like a RICO or a racketeering case. The ones that I have seen, they tend to be like this. And very like, when I say they, I mean like the Department of Justice tends to be very closed and keeping everything very closely guarded. Were there any other witnesses other than Cassie on the stand today? Yeah, Maritza, there were. So today, Cassie actually wrapped up. She ended the day around like mid-afternoon time. After her, they had an expert witness on who was testifying more about some of the evidence and medications that they found in one of Diddy's hotel rooms. And they were testifying that they found like, what was it, MDMA and different medications and opiates under a pseudonym. She answered just a few questions. And then afterwards, Don Richard, that was in a couple of his bands, like a couple of those Making the Bands. She testified a little bit about really witnessing some of the assault against Cassie. So really, they asked her a few questions about some of the different things that she had witnessed over the years in working with Diddy. And one of the things that she said was that one time at Diddy's house while recording a song with her band, she said that actually she witnessed Diddy get mad at Cassie and start yelling at her and try and hit her with a frying pan over the head. She said that Cassie dropped to the floor and that Diddy proceeded to like kick her in the head and kick her in the stomach and then dragged her upstairs, and that she proceeded to hear like glass breaking and everything like that. So yeah, but that wasn't the only time that she said that she witnessed something like that happen. She said it also happened at another time. I believe that one was in a hotel room. So yeah, it was pretty terrible stuff that she witnessed. But they wrapped up court for today. I believe she's going to be back on the stand on Monday. I don't believe that they wrapped her, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, though, today you could tell was kind of like a Friday kind of thing. They were kind of like wrapping up things. But yeah, there wasn't not a whole lot to, like, I feel like we learned, the defense definitely leaned in more, trying to harp on Cassie and lean in more on the jealousy that they've been trying to prove. They were trying to prove that Cassie, was in doing all of this is because she's kind of the jilted lover and just feeling jealous and that kind of thing. And they were really leaning in on that a lot. So yeah. Ooh, Arturo, what are you talking about? I see Cassie's families are from the Philippines. Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-mm. But yeah, one thing that I definitely have noticed is, though, today, especially after her testimony today, it seems like a lot of even more opinions have gone against Cassie, more so than I thought that they were going to. I mean, I've been very shocked by how most people that I have seen on social media, especially a lot of women, have been just so vehemently against Cassie and just been so very much so, I don't know, just very much so saying that she's not a victim and that she was a willing participant in a lot of this. And especially today, after today's testimony, I feel like I saw that ramp up quite a bit more, which I wasn't really surprised by that, just by like the things that I saw. Because like I mentioned today, the way the defense kind of hammered in a little bit more or a lot more, it was just very, very clear. Like some of those things that, like, it wasn't going to be a very good day for her. It wasn't a good day for the prosecution, really. They really talked a lot about, like, this one last question for the defense, they asked Cassie specifically about a $10 million settlement that she received. And it was just kind of how they ended the day. And it was like the worst possible thing that they could have done. But it was a great move for the defense, kind of, where they just really harped in and asked her, just, hey, by the way, did you just get a $10 million settlement before all of this began, but from Intercontinental? And she was like, yes. And they were like, no more questions. And just kind of like, geez. Let's see, Maritza, have I formulated an opinion about the case, guilty or not? So yeah and no. So, like, I'll be honest, when I read the indictment, I formulated my opinion on this one. I read the indictment and I was just like, oh, they have enough evidence, like, he's guilty of sin. That was me from jump when I read the indictment. But again, he's not really being tried for necessarily the things that we're hearing from Cassie, right? He's not really being tried for, beating her up. He's not being tried for sexually assaulting her or anything like that. He's being tried for, essentially, like, paying these escorts, paying them across state lines and everything. Yes, trafficking, and using his money from his businesses to fund all of that. That's what he's being tried for. So yes, that's why I'm like, oh, he's guilty of sin for sure. He did all of that. There's no question about it. The question is can they prove it, and how are they going to prove that? So yeah, I think and that'll be the thing. And what, not necessarily can they prove it, will they make the jury believe it, and will they make them unanimously believe that? That'll be the difficult part. Getting all 12 of those people to believe the exact same thing and unanimously believe that he's guilty. Yeah, I believe it 100%. Like I said, I saw the indictment and was instantly like, oh yeah, he did this. He did absolutely all of it. No, there's no question about it. There's no question in my mind that the man did absolutely. Because, like, the thing with P. Diddy to me is it's kind of like the same thing with R. Kelly. It's nothing that you haven't heard about him before. Like, I feel like we've heard these same rumors about Diddy for 20 years. Like, everybody's heard something about Diddy being violent, about Diddy being this, about Diddy being that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh no, like, I just do split stuff. So yeah, like, I still do mornings. And yes, Madison, yes. Exactly. That's it. That's exactly it. So yeah. And I think that's what it is. So yeah. I definitely think he's guilty. It's just whether or not the jury does. I think that's the thing. And again, so like the jury, it's a 12-person jury. It's 8 men, 4 women. They have 6 alternates. And the jury is made up of, I want to say, the youngest person is 31. Oh, thank you so much for the heart. Thank you, friend. The jury is made up of, 4 women, 8 men. I think they range in age from like 31 to 73, 74, somewhere in there. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But like I mentioned, they haven't even really gotten to really the meat of their case just yet. Like Cassie is really like obviously kind of their star witness, and that, you know, she's the one who can tie kind of everything together per se. And at least in that aspect. But there's a lot more to this. I definitely think that there is. There has to be, obviously. A lot more. Because they haven't even gotten necessarily to like the business side or the enterprise side or anything like that yet. So I'm just very interested to see. And they haven't even proven a pattern of him doing this. And that's what they have to prove as well. They have to prove a pattern of behavior, that he has a history of doing this, not just with her, but with other people as well. So yeah. Or like over at least over an extended period of time. And they can't just rely on her, on her word. You think he paid the jury to take his side? I mean, I don't think he has. Is it possible? Yes. Do I think he did? No. Not yet. Ask me again after the verdict. No. No, I was supposed to say, like, ask me again. Yeah, ask me again after the verdict. No, at this time I don't. No, I don't think so. I do think, though, like, I keep getting this question, too, is like, why has he been in jail? Why is he still staying in jail? And I think that's a huge reason why he has been in jail and why he has stayed and why they didn't give him bond, they didn't give him bail, anything like that, is because he's, 1, a flight risk, and because 2, literally right before, while he was going through like all that pre-trial stuff and everything like that, he was messing with witnesses and threatening witnesses and things of that nature. And the judge was like, are you kidding me? No. Stay in jail. Like, absolutely not. No, you can't get out. Like, so yeah, I would not put it past him at all. I think probably the last few months have been incredibly humbling for him, and he needed that. Because apparently now, like, if you've seen any of like the courtroom sketches, like he has all the gray hair, and that he's like, he's lost a lot of weight, and he's walking kind of with a limp, and he's been seen wearing like a sweater and just looking very un-Diddy instead of like the glamorous suits and the fresh cut and everything like that. He's not like that anymore. And which I think is a tactic, a ploy for sure, to get a little sympathy, like just the same thing as like with having his family members there for sure. But yeah. Yeah, time is finally catching up for sure. All the things that he's done to other people over the years, at least rumor wise, maybe he's finally paying for it. Who knows? Oh, thank you for the gifts, and thank you for the likes. Yeah, tell you what, guys, please do me a favor, tap your screen for me. It's an easy and it's a free way to support my life, and I appreciate it. And it just gets more people involved in the chat too. That's always fun. Thanks, guys. So yeah, let me see. I got asked the other day, like, some of the most shocking things that I have seen come out of like the witness testimony. And there have been a lot of them, of course. Most of them have come from Cassie, but not all of them. Oh, thank you guys for the likes. Thank you. So yeah, most of them have come from Cassie, not all of them. One of them actually came from day 1 of the trial. And this was when the male escort was talking about some of the things that Cassie and Diddy liked for him to do to them, specifically to Cassie. And he talked about one time that Cassie specifically asked him to give her a golden shower. And I was like, oh no. Like, but again, like, Cassie maintains that this was a Diddy thing. She said, like, from the very beginning that Diddy kind of told her that he was into voyeurism and that was just his thing. And he made it very clear that if she was into it, that it made him happy. And that's the way he always kind of presented it. And that's how he was able to control the situation, from what she said, that he would always tell her like, oh, if you do this, it'll make me so happy, and that kind of thing. And he just kind of played that up. It was kind of just like a reward system, you know? So yeah, that was definitely one. Yeah, that was a huge one. The Michael B. Jordan one that I mentioned about Cassie and Michael B. Jordan having kind of a flirtation. That was a shocking one. That one actually came out yesterday with her on the witness stand. Because yeah, I talked about that one, that apparently at some point Diddy was really jealous and thought that Cassie was dating somebody in the industry. He didn't really know who it was, but he had a feeling that it was Michael B. Jordan. And come to find out, it kind of was, but she wasn't really dating him. They weren't really dating. They were just kind of having a flirtation or whatever. She said they didn't really date. So yeah, that was a really interesting one too. Another one though, it was just some of the things that she talked about, like in Diddy, and talking about like all this fascination with the baby oil. The baby oil stuff, I could do without knowing, I think, for the rest of my life. And talking about like this one time where he got a hotel and had like the inflatable pool and got all this baby oil and Astroglide and filled it up and wanted her to get in with her clothes on, because his whole thing was he really liked the look of the shine and the smooth. And yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. Like, I can't. Like, sometimes, you know, you want to read something and you want to act like it's not weird, and it is. Like, no, that was one of those times where you try to read it with a straight face. I couldn't do it. I just could not. Exactly, that was my face. I could not. I absolutely could not do it. So yeah, there was a lot of shocking moments. A lot of shocking moments for sure. Like, just But like I mentioned, if you're interested, if you need to catch up, or if you want to know anything that happened this week, I do have a playlist that is available right now on my TikTok and on my YouTube channel, where you can catch up on all of the big moments from the trial of this week. I promise. They were probably so ashy. I am done with you. That lady did Tupac wrong. Oh wait, what lady? So yeah, there's a lot, but like I mentioned, I'm trying to see like if I missed anything else for anybody else who testified, because I'm kind of going through like little transcripts right now, making sure I didn't miss anything else big. One thing that I did find interesting was like how long they were in a relationship. I forgot about that, because I don't think I realized how long they were together. So they were together for like 10, 11 years, which I don't think I ever realized that they were together for that long. But she says she met him around like 19 or so, that he signed her to his label, and then essentially that she put out like like 9 different albums that he never released, that she doesn't know anything like really about the music or anything like that. Oh, thanks for sharing the live. Thank you. And so yeah, it was like some of that kind of stuff. So she was really talking about the amount of control that he had over her life. She mentioned, you know, the fact that he obviously had owned her or rented the apartments that she had the apartments that she had, but also knew where she was 24/7. And if she went somewhere that he didn't know where she was, that he would send somebody to go looking for her. He had staff members who knew where she was all the time. Of course, he had access to one, like where she lived, but also to her cars, to her phone. Again, just like 24/7 access, that kind of thing, all day, every day. So he was incredibly controlling, but then again, he used his staff members to also control that situation and to also make sure that they also knew where she was at all times. So it was from what she said, it was incredibly a controlling environment, and a very much so domineering environment. She also talked about times where she tried to get away and tried to escape, and that essentially other people would bring her back, that either his bodyguards or his staff members would come looking for her and come bring her back if she were at a hotel room. Or I forgot this one. I just thought about this one right now. Another celebrity though that was mentioned, oh, Phoenix. No, that's a great question. What makes it racketeering? What makes it racketeering, honestly, has nothing even to do with any of that. So what makes it racketeering actually is the fact that he was using money from his business. Say like it could have either been from Bad Boy, it could have been from Sean John, Ciroc, whatever. It was because he was using money from that, and because he was allegedly using people on his payroll from those companies to also do that illegal activity. So, for example, if, say, his chief of staff, which is one of the people that Cassie alleges was also helping him with all of this, if he was paying her, but she was also one of the people who would keep Cassie in check and keep tabs on her and all that kind of thing, then yeah, that goes towards the racketeering charge. If, again, some of the money from Bad Boy was used to then pay some of these male escorts, then that goes to the racketeering charge. So no, that's a good question. I hadn't explained that. So yeah, that's why this case is kind of convoluted, because people you hear are all about the abuse and what Cassie is saying and alleging about that Diddy did to her, and that's what you're thinking, but that's not necessarily what the charges are. So yeah, it's kind of confusing. But now one thing though, with the again, so it's racketeering conspiracy, which is interesting, because then that also changes it just a little bit. So because it's racketeering conspiracy, that makes it a little bit different. There's also the trafficking element, meaning essentially moving people from either across state lines, or across like country lines, something like that. Yes, Phoenix, yes. An exchange of money has to happen, yes. Typically from a business enterprise, yes. That's where the racketeering, Essentially, and it also kind of boils down to, from the indictment, they're kind of alleging that he was using his business or his empire to fund his criminal activity. So essentially saying that, yeah, he had all his businesses were almost like not necessarily a front, but almost like a front to fund his criminal activity. That they had almost become like a front to fund his criminal activity, if that makes sense. So yeah. Gina, thanks for sharing the live. Thank you, guys. So yeah, and then the trafficking, of course, is the moving from either across state lines or across country lines, country borders, something like that. And then, of course, you have the transportation, which is a similar thing, except it doesn't necessarily engage in state lines. It's weird, and they kind of overlap. Because I had to look all of that stuff up when the indictment came down. What was that, back in September? So yeah, it's a lot. But like I mentioned, all of these do carry separate sentences. So he could easily be found guilty of one count and not be found guilty of another count, that kind of thing. So what is it? I think it's 5 counts altogether, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very plausible that he's found guilty of one or just a few and not of all of them. So yeah. Let's see. So that's the thing, and I think people keep thinking that there were more people involved than actually were. And so I do need to clear that up. That's a great question. These are not the white parties. So what we're talking about in these freak offs and all that kind of stuff, we're not talking about these big old white parties that everybody has been talking about, that we've seen the pictures of, that that everybody has seen the pictures with Ashton Kutcher and Jay-Z and Beyonce, and thank you so much, thanks for the hat, friend, and Oprah and Denzel and all that. These are not those parties. These are not the white parties. They are not the same thing. And Cassie has said that exact same thing on the witness stand, that the freak-offs and the white parties are completely different, separate instances, and that these freak-offs usually happened at completely separate places from these white parties. She said that they would usually happen at at hotels, hotel rooms, sometimes at their private residences, things like that, but they were completely separate. So these aren't things where you were having 100 people involved, 50 people involved, 75 people involved, anything like that. Now, there were several people involved, but there was her, Diddy, and some escorts. So yeah, they're separate. We haven't gotten to anything. There has been no mention of the white parties. There has been no mention. The only mention of any other celebrities has been Michael B. Jordan, because they said that Diddy was jealous of Michael B. Jordan and his flirtatious relationship that he had with Cassie for a little while. There was a mention of some of the artists that she worked with that Diddy introduced her to. There was also the mention of Kid Cudi. So Kid Cudi and Cassie were in a relationship. Kid Cudi, like the rapper and everything like that. They were in a relationship for a while, and I forgot to mention this one. She did talk about the alleged, she did say that, you know, P. Diddy like threatened Kid Cudi several times, and talked about when, I don't know if anybody else remembers this whole rumor of like Diddy blowing up Kid Cudi's car. She pretty much said that he did that on the stand. She was like, she said that she asked him about it, and like he just kind of blew it off and made some kind of statement saying like that's what happens or something like that. So yeah, but those have been the only mentions of celebrities. But I feel like that's a pretty big one to mention on the stand for sure. So yeah, Gina, let's see. I think J-Lo knew. I mean, listen, I don't know how you couldn't know something. I mean, if you're with him. I mean, so Cassie also mentioned things about Kim Porter, Kim Porter is another one of Diddy's exes, that one of his longtime girlfriends, also mother of several of his children. She also mentioned that Kim Porter also engaged in some of these freak-offs separately from her. So I would imagine if two of these girlfriends knew that dated him around J-Lo, that J-Lo would have to know, right? That's what I would think. I don't know. Is the producer Lil Rod John Doe? See, I don't know. Phoenix, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know. I'm waiting for that one to come out. I don't know. I do not know. They've been really, like, they haven't really, I've seen rumors that it is, but like nothing like actually like saying for sure it is. Cause yeah. Yeah. I was like, I've seen other people say that before, so yeah. Oh, Arturo, what are you talking about? Let's see, that's the keyword freak out. Yeah. So yeah, they're very different. So yeah, like she wanted to make sure, like on the witness stand several times, she mentioned that the freak off parties and the all white parties were very, very, very different. So yeah, totally different instances. These things did not happen at the exact same time. They not in the same place, nothing. At least according to her. What she said on the witness stand, that's all I can say. I haven't been to any of them, so you know what I mean? I don't know. So yeah, it's that's all I can say. Like I said, the only mention that I have seen of any celebrities was really like in the last couple of days, where today, like I said, they asked a little bit about some of the celebrities that she worked with, and that she and really that trying to say that Diddy like introduced her to these celebrities, and trying to really forward along some of the thinking that like Diddy provided her lifestyle. And other than that, they talked about exes, people that she had dated, like Kid Cudi and Michael B. Jordan. Other than that, no real celebrity names I seen mentioned yet. So nah. We'll see though as it like progresses on. Again, this was just week 1 of this, and there have only been a handful of people who have even been on the witness stand. Jen, thank you for sharing the live. Thank you so much. Arturo, I'm sorry, that's not my topic for tonight. We're talking about something else, but I can try and I'll talk about other news on Sunday night. But yeah, I do, like I mentioned, so for Sunday, we will know more about what's going to happen for next week. So on Sunday night, they'll release more about who the witnesses will be for next week. They'll announce more of essentially what is on the docket for next week and everything like that. We should know more about that for around like 4 or 5 o'clock on Sunday. But yeah, for right now, it looks like Don Richard will be back on the stand. Cassie should be done already. It looks like she's wrapped. But yeah, there are a ton more witnesses that are still left. A lot more. Like I mentioned, this week we really only had Daniel Phillip, who was the male escort. We had Cassie, Don Richard, and really just another expert witness. That was really it. The only people who touched the stand, really. And we haven't had a lot of other just evidence presented in general to the jury. There have been a few videos that have been presented to the jury. We did get the full hotel video showing exactly what happened. in that hotel video that CNN was able to release showing the whole incident between Diddy and Cassie. Well, what they received was actually just a clip. The jury received the full, about 40 or so minute video that they were able to look at, as well as a statement from the security guards who were working there at the hotel that day, who even mentioned that Diddy tried to bribe them afterwards, that Diddy offered them money, and even mentioned like, hey, if you come into my hotel room, I can offer you something, you know who I am. So yeah, pretty interesting. But yeah, so like the jury has seen other evidence. They're actually hiding a lot of the video evidence and photo evidence from the media just so that a lot of these explicit in nature evidence doesn't get out to the public. They're trying to protect just the integrity of a lot of the victims, which I think is the smart move. I think it's at least a nice move on behalf of everybody involved. It's the least they can do, because not every courtroom does that. A lot of courtrooms actually don't do that at all and don't respect the honor of the victim. So I think it's nice. Oh yeah, Gina, I believe it wholeheartedly. I believe it wholeheartedly that he offered them money. I read it and I was like, oh yeah, that happened. Like, everything in me, like, I have yet to see the thing that I have read or seen in this case where I was shocked to the point where I was like, oh yeah, no, he didn't do that. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet. Maybe I will get there. I don't know, but it hasn't happened yet. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe it will. I don't foresee it happening. Who knows though? Who knows? All right, guys, but it looks like that's about it for me on this Friday night. Thanks for joining me for this hour-long little evening version of the Coffee Chat with Chan. So yeah, oh no, Phoenix, a bribe in general is never an admission of guilt. I will forever say that. Listen, in general, it just never is. Sometimes you just want something to go away. I will forever say that. So no. Oh, no, you're good. Have a great evening, everybody. Have a great weekend. I will see you back here on Sunday night at 7 p.m. with a recap of all of the top news stories of the week. And in addition to that, then I'll be back on my regular schedule on Tuesday morning, back in the mornings. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. I'll see you back Sunday night. Bye.